Jim, I'm listening.
No, that's it.
Jim, I'm listening.
No.
You've got my undivided
I don't want it.
I
don't want it because I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to enjoy the sweet spot. I'm not going to enjoy it. It's too late. It's too late. Get it out now, all of you. Come, go. You can hammer us now. Say whatever you want. You've got 30 seconds to type it in there, and then let's just can we all draw a line? Because actually, right, Joe, I'm gonna go behind the curtain here. Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for now. We are currently recording this with our patrons. I'm looking at the live chat. You can join us if you would like to, but do not ask any of them for a review because we're a little bit late today, and we're a little bit. And our people are angry right now.
A couple of minutes late, and
I assure you, we are normally never late. We are never late. And if you want to enjoy on-time premium content, there's a link in the description. You can join us for our mailbags and join us for the podcast live as well. But we are late this time, and our people, our moist slugs, are annoyed. And so we're giving them 30 seconds to write whatever they would like to into the chat. And I can read a few out, and I think this is a good place to start because there's the comments last week were awash with anger. Flav, I've never seen such an upset bunch.
You mean in YouTube?
Oh no, yes, yeah. Liverpool fans, they weren't happy. They weren't happy.
Oh, what a shock! what Liverpool fans not happy about something? Wow! What did I say? Something that was offensive or somewhat irritating?
I'm trying to move towards a peace treaty here.
Why?
Well, because there's lots of them. I don't want to upset them all.
Right. Okay. Your channel. Yeah.
And so thing is, right? Do you know what I will allow for? So, okay, right. Now there's a lot of comments, and I had to. Poor me. I had to read through all of them. I actually got to a point where I searched. I don't think we've ever had so many comments. It's crazy.
What did we say? What was so bad?
It was just the discussion of VAR.
So it wasn't us saying that, I feel sorry for the Liverpool fans that, don't want a replay. It wasn't that.
Did they skip past that? They did seem to skip that. They skipped past. Okay, actually, that's a good point. They skipped past the silent majority who you were speaking for and showing empathy towards and suggesting, feel sorry for these guys being dragged through the mud. They don't need that right now. But they sort of, a lot of people seem to jump over that corpse and onto, the fact that we discussed or maybe focused more so on the top line that the media was using, that Jurgen Klopp had asked for a replay. But people have said he didn't ask for a replay. He asked for... So let me read this out. Samuel Praneeth. And we'll do this quickly, all right? Because I want to let's just move forward.
I'm well over it.
Yeah, I know, as am I. Replay fallout. Because I hear what you're saying, and I want you to be heard, guys. Okay? So Samuel Praneeth says, it's great that everyone's getting in on this dunk fest. It's not like Klopp said what he said because he was literally specifically asked what he thought would be a fair resolution to this issue in a vacuum. So 55 likes on this. So this is where I'm struggling with, and this is where I'm going to leave it. People are saying that he didn't ask for a replay. But he was asked if it was a fair resolution, he would say a replay in a vacuum. There's a vacuum that Samuel's talking about. In this vacuum world that he's living in, he's saying that there should be a replay. So what I'm hearing there... He said it, though, Flav, didn't he? He said. I'm sure he said it.
Okay, so this is what's happening. This is and please let this be the end of it. This is
your last chance to speak about it.
Yeah, let this be the last word ever.
My last sentence is: I hear that he said stuff after it, but he did say it. That's where I'm at.
I'm all fans, and I did it as well with Conte. Is they will defend to the hill whatever their manager says, barring some extremities. And all they're doing is they're reframing what he said to suit an agenda. And I get it. And don't take that as an attack on you. I'm just saying that's what all fans do. You're simply reframing it to suit your agenda, and I'm simply hearing it to suit my agenda. I don't believe what you're saying. I think it's nonsense, but that's fine. You're entitled to it. I'm not rattled by what you're saying, and don't get rattled by what I'm saying. You don't have to go to the comments to express this, but obviously it's engagement and it helps the pod and that. But who gives a shit fundamentally? For Christ's sake!
Well, a lot of people I would say.
So you're saying that if someone said, "Oh, actually, go on then, have a replay," he wouldn't go. Well, no. What I meant was in a vacuum. This is still not a vacuum, right? Do you know what I mean? Come on, boys and girls and ladies.
I mean,
non-binary.
Yeah. It's
Jim.
Anyway, people are angry.
Jim.
I promised I'd read out of you, so hang on. James Raven. James Raven. He says, "I am also angry."
Is this about us being late?
Yeah. Reece says, "I can't do this anymore." Catherine says, "We pay our hard-earned money on you." Shocking behaviour, says Nazim. Jude says, "Rumours of a revolt going on for the Slugs. Is something happening here?" Reece Jones says, "It's 30 seconds over. I'm still raging." So they're not happy.
What does a revolt look like? I'd love to know.
Oh, little sluggy revolt. There'd be a slow-paced one, wouldn't it? Slow-paced revolt.
What the fuck are you not going to do? What are you going to do, eh? Show me. Jim, can I ask you something? Something that's sort of been bubbling away over the last week.
Ooh, lovely.
Do you think that Harry Kane regrets leaving Tottenham Hotspur to go and join the Bayern Munich and play in the Farmers League? That's the question. It must have crossed his mind. He must have been sitting there eating his sausage and going, "Is that racist?" No, I'm sure it's fine. Can't be racist, Germans.
That's a traditional dish, isn't it? The old verse.
Yeah, I know, but you wouldn't say it. I'm not sure you'd say it about another culture, but I think white Europeans, pretty much you can say whatever you like about them.
Right, yeah, pretty much safe there, yeah.
I think you're safe there. Yeah. So best sitting there eating his cornflakes and
eating his sausage for breakfast.
Yeah. And he's looking at it going, oh no, like my family. Oh, apparently you can't say sausage. All right, well, my apologies. Don't cancel me. Yeah. He's sitting there thinking, like, the Spurs look like they're having a lot of fun over there, and they are top of the league, and I've left my entire family at home, so I'm not like I don't have the comforts of my family around me. I'm having to play with these players I don't really know, with a manager who's a bit of a nutcase in a league that's beneath me. Surely he might have in the last 3 months gone, oh, if it wasn't for Daniel Levy, I'd still be there.
Yeah. Well, even if it's maybe he's obliviously been just enjoying all the goals he's scoring, right? But at said breakfast, where he's having his sausage cornflakes, I think I've said earlier by mistake. It's his wife, isn't it? His wife's gone. His wife sat down with her cornflakes like this. She's gone. She's doing that face.
You haven't shared your camera, so I'm just having to pretend to see what you're looking at.
Sorry, yeah. Mrs. Kane comes in with she's at the breakfast table. She comes in with a face like this. And Kane's just like that. Loads of milk. Way too much milk. He's one of them. He's not like, some people like a tiny bit of milk. He's like that. Gold. Just thinking of gold. Gold. Oh.
Gold.
Just thinking of gold. And he's happy. He's happy because
that's all he's happy. All he thinks about is gold.
Because all he wants is a diet of cornflakes and gold.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that.
Right.
And,
Wait, but his wife then goes, just cracks his reality. He's finishing up. Gold. Right. As Mrs. goes, we shouldn't have left, should we? He said, what do you mean? He hasn't looked. That's the thing with Kane. He hasn't even looked. He hasn't looked at what? Have you seen the table? They're winning.
I'm not sure Kane's even aware that he's in a different country. Well, this is what I'm saying, Jim. Is like he's there. He's joined Bayern Munich to win the Champions League and win the league. They're third in the league. Tottenham Hotspur are top.
Are they third in the league?
Third in the league.
I think this is what I mean. I think everyone's like, why is he? He's not even bothered about the goal scoring records, because people are like, why would you leave Tottenham? Think about the goal scoring record. No,
He knows he's coming back.
You're way too zoomed out. All he thinks about is goals. Where's the next goal? And at Bayern, there's more goals to be had. He doesn't want.
They're thinking about.
He wants an easier league so he can facilitate, get more goals in his gob. That's what Harry wants. He don't give a shit about it. He doesn't care about records or trophies. We've all been having this conveation around him. He's like, but Harry needs to go and win a trophy. He's like, I don't care. I just want cereal and goals. All he wants.
That is it, Jim. That is it. He's not even aware of the targets. He's not aware of what he can achieve. He's just in the moment goals. That's it.
He's like, well, what sort of targets are you setting for yourself this year?
Goals.
Do you mean the goal? Yeah. Well, yeah, that is a target, Harry. Yeah, but sorry, I just meant if you could zoom out for a second, just a little bit more. Maybe like top goal scorer for. Will that be so? I will have had lots of goals. Yes, Harry, you would have scored lots of goals. Well, then goals.
Well, goals is my target. The thing is that he would have got so many goals at Spurs. He would have got all the goals at Spurs. Like he would score. He would have scored more than Haaland will score this year if he would have stayed in Postecoglou's Tottenham at Spurs with this system. He would have been bagging goals.
I was sort of pushing the narrative of Richarlison being like the right idea, as this sacrificial striker. But now when you see Son just like popping in goals here and there, you just think Kane would have popped off, wouldn't he?
Yeah, no, he would have done. And I wonder if the title talk at Tottenham, which obviously is ridiculous. Actually, go over to my YouTube. I've just switched up how I'm doing YouTube videos now. I'm doing it down to camera, yeah. And there's a video that's going out. Not now. It's not there yet. Don't bring it up
when it does arrive. Yeah.
It will be here today. It'll be after this. I'm putting it up.
Exciting.
Yeah. When you're watching this, you can go to my YouTube and watch my video on 5 things that need to happen in order for Tottenham Hotspur to win the Premier League.
Exciting.
Obviously we can't. But if Harry Kane had stayed at Tottenham and we were in the exact same position, do you think that more fans would be looking at Spurs as legitimate title contenders? Obviously, that's mental. But if we had Harry Kane in this,
yeah, of course, you'd have a better player there.
Yeah. But would people? My question, Jim, isn't about Harry Kane. Would they take Tottenham Hotspur as a club more legitimately, or would they continue to say, which is a narrative, well, it's Spurs? Obviously, they're not in the title contest because that's all they've got at the moment. Not statistically, we're top of the league going into this international break, better than any other team in the league. There's the evidence is right there,
right?
That we are the best team in the league.
Yeah.
In the first 8 games, but we can't win it because we're Tottenham, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Are people concentrating on the road that you're on right now, aka the data that we have with us at the start of this season, or the fog and noise and the rain around it? What's going to get you to the destination? Stop looking at the fog. You need to concentrate on the opportunity here. That is the road.
It's a good point you make, because the fog and noise of our past, the checkered past of Tottenham Hotspur, when actually we're a bit of a worldie right now, whereas back in the day we're slanging it around on the street corners. Literally for a long time, Spurs were just on a street corner, and imagine a man just with their trousers pulled down to his knees and he's just bum out. That was Spurs.
Yeah.
That was Spurs for 25 years. This now, we're being wined and dined in high-class restaurants.
Right.
Back in the day, it was just on the street corner with bum out.
And from the front, you go, wow, he's got his penis out. That's quite the power move. But if you just gently walk round, you go, hang on a minute, this guy's vulnerable.
Knees are slightly bent.
Yeah. Thighs pulsing with the difficulty of the sort of gentle knee bend. That is the pressure of the league. So hang on. Christ, where are we? So are you telling me that Harry Kane has cost Tottenham the Premier League title?
No, I don't think he has. I think he's actually, we're in a better shit. You need that as a title. No. Yeah, of course. I mean, if we had Harry Kane.
No, I don't need that as a title. But joking aside, you're saying that Tottenham would be considered more so Premier League title chasers if Harry Kane was there, right?
I'm saying Yeah, I'm saying that the narrative around Tottenham Hotspur would be different if Harry Kane was still there. Would we be more likely to win the league? I don't know, because his existence at the club there would be a shift in what Tottenham are right now to back to somewhat to what we were previously when he was there, where he was the main guy. Maybe him leaving. Have you heard of the Patrick Ewing theory by Bill Simmons?
Yes.
Yeah. So the idea that someone who's commercially and is essentially the big fish in the small pond that is sort of a commercial and a media personality, but never quite managed to lead his team on to success, leaves to go elsewhere, and then that team gets better because of the absence. A vacuum, if you like, is created and is filled by the quality of other players.
Right.
So that's the idea. It's not actually proven. Most people discredit it, but it's a nice idea. And to in the first 8 games of this season, it's somewhat proven to be that we are a different type of club and team now. And I can say with a certain amount of hindsight, which is always useful to have, that there were. I always used to say, I'd say often on the podcast and on this pod as well, is that we are in. There are many teams that don't have Harry Kane that are better than Tottenham Hotspur. Tons of them.
Right.
We finished 8th. There were 7 teams better than Tottenham in the league last season that didn't have Harry Kane. So what we've done is created a squad of players and a style of play and a new manager that didn't need Harry Kane in order to be successful. We'll see how it goes towards the end of the season, but so far it's been fantastic.
So are you saying that Tottenham are a better team now without Harry Kane? Or if I was able to go, Harry, can you look at me, Harry? And you just go, goals. And I'm like, there might be some more goals over here, and I can take you over here if you'd like. And you're like, and he's going, will there be cereal? Yes, Harry, there'll be cereal and there'll be goals. Would you take him, and would you think that you'd be a better team now if you were able to parachute in Harry Kane?
Obviously.
Right. So him not being there is going to cost you the Premier League title, essentially, is what you're saying.
I'm saying, won't it be an incredible season that we managed to do it without him?
But I'm asking you, you're saying that you'd be better with Harry Kane in the team right now, and therefore you're not as good without him, and therefore he is hurting you.
Yeah, and imagine what we're going to be like in a year when we've really started to, the wheels are fully in full motion.
But hang on, you're not. You're either better without Harry Kane or you're not. You're saying you're not because you're saying that you'd be better if he was in the team.
What you're asking me for is an opinion, which really doesn't mean anything. All I can say to you is look at where we are in the league compared to this time last season that had Harry Kane player in it.
Right. See, can I suggest the idea that
if we had Harry Kane and Son, I'd be right now going, I think we can win the league, rather than actually saying right now, we're not going to win the league, but we could give it a go. Whereas with Harry Kane, I'd be going, if we stay injury-free, we can win the league. That's the difference.
Okay.
Of course, we'd be better with him.
I would go back to your kind of Patrick Ewing theory, which Scottish Tarkle said that apparently actually the Knicks didn't actually get any better. But anyway.
Wait, Scott, who gives a shit, mate? It was in 1999. Why don't you fucking grow up? Who cares?
But the point I would say is that Harry Kane is he's an attention vacuum, and or a sort of attention magnet. Even if he wants to or not, right? As is, and because if he's there and he's not signed a contract, right? Say he's still there and he's not signed a contract yet. That would be all that would be being discussed, and the feeling around the club would have other stories around it. So I would suggest. I get it. Like, if you pick him up and you don't have everything that's around it, obviously, like, he's a better striker than anyone in the world, really. So that would work. But actually, I think the truth is you're better without him.
I think that there is an argument for it, and it's easy to make because he isn't there, but you just don't know what we would be like with him there. And what has been great as a Spurs fan this season is having players who are buzzing to play under Ange Postecoglou, but more to the point, seem to be buzzing to play with each other. And the chemistry in the squad is something that's really infectious as a fan. When you've got a group of players that clearly love playing with each other, the results have been incredible, but also that mood that's created by them is infectious. And the fact that Kane isn't there means it's easier for, like, Son is now the man, right? Son is our club captain. He is our leader, and he would always would have existed in the shadow of Harry Kane while he was there. So perhaps we wouldn't get the Heung-min Son we're getting now, which is he's scoring a rate similar to Harry Kane would have did last season. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Who cares really? I mean, fundamentally, he wanted out.
Oh, I think it's interesting. I think you're better. I think you're better. I think you're better without him.
Look at us. We are better so far. Would you look? But would you? What is better though? If you put him back in? You don't know how good Spurs could be. As it stands right now, you look at the evidence and say, yeah, all right, fair enough.
Can we put this one to the chat? I'll just get an answer. Better or worse? Well, I've put forward my theory. Flav's kind of put forward the other theories. Are Tottenham better or worse without Harry Kane? Give me some yeses and nos. Here's a comment. I actually found this funny. It's like the kind of caveat, because what I would like to know as well is the sort of mindset of the Tottenham fan in the international break as we find ourselves. So what does this say? F8A1X Horizon 87. He said, as a fellow Spurs fan, I feel you, Flav. If any team can pull off an invincible season, so last week we were talking about if Spurs went invincible and how that, but you suggested that they would do that and then not win the league. Yeah. If any team can pull off an invincible season, brackets, and this is what I love, is like, so this, normally a brackets in a sentence won't be longer than the sentence itself. But he said, as a Spurs fan, I feel you, Flav. If any team can pull off an invincible season, brackets, zero chance of that happening with Spurs either way. We're one centre-back injury away from a disaster, not even taking into account that what could happen if Maddison or Son missed a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
And still find a way not to win the league. It'll be Tottenham. Just love that little caveat there.
Yeah.
I did the ripple effect with Harry Brooks on Tuesday, and I asked him a question that I wanted to ask you. And I might have asked you on the mailbag, which, of course, our Moist Slugs will have enjoyed already this week. I asked that, is it more annoying that Tottenham are top of the league and Arsenal have got the same points, but you're above them on goals scored? Or would you just rather they were fourth?
Yeah, much rather they were fourth.
Okay.
Of course. You're just like, when they scored against Manchester City, and I'm sure they felt the same when we got over the line against Luton. I mean, there would have been tons and tons and tons of gooners piling into the Tottenham versus Luton versus Tottenham game. What? Hold a minute. What was that? I've heard that Tottenham had gone down to 10 men before the first half finished. Shit. Go and watch that. Watch them lose to Luton. That'd be brilliant. You can imagine they're rubbing their hands together. Come on, let's all get down the pub and watch Spurs get beat by Luton. It'll be hilarious. Be able to banter off all our Spurs mates. It'd be fantastic. And then we went on to win with 10 men away at Luton.
Can't celebrate though. Can't celebrate though.
I'll celebrate that. Yeah. I saw a lot of Arsenal fans celebrating a last-minute winner against Manchester City, crying. Some of them were crying. And it's fine. You should be able to celebrate it, because the point of going to football and watching it anywhere is celebrating, for fuck's sake. Anyway, if you, it's just part of the course, isn't it? But yeah, don't get me wrong. When Arsenal scored against Man City, who were shit, by the way, Man City were that. Honestly, can I just say something? I'm in my head. I've got like 16 points to make, right? But I'm just gonna make a couple. One, it was annoying when Arsenal beat City and went level on points, but they celebrated it like they won the World Cup, and so they should, because they managed to, get near Tottenham. Understand it? It's a big day for them. The other thing is, what an absolute disaster of an advertisement for the Premier League that game was. Have you ever been more bored in your life, Jim? I know you like all the tactics and all that nonsense, but generally, as a game of football, and I watch a lot of football, Jim, you know this.
You love it these days.
I love it. What a bore fest. An absolute bore fest. Manchester City without Rodri are all right. Mad to say, but they are all right. They're like a Basuma injury to Spurs.
It was, do you know, it showed...
Arsenal weren't that much better.
Do you know, it showed
I looked
for
at
me,
both of them. I don't fear either of these clubs.
We've given Klopp a tough ride, right? Last week or so. But I still think Liverpool can win the league, by the way. But more importantly, those great games, right? Those great games, Liverpool, Man City, when you watch those and they finish 2-2, but more importantly, sometimes they finish like, I don't know, it might be tight. They'd have a go at each other. And the reason they'd have a go at each other because of Klopp and because of Liverpool, not because of Man City. Because Man City are completely about control, which obviously we all know this. But so when you've got Arteta and Arsenal, they're the little brother. Then Arsenal fans are going to hate this, but they are essentially the little brother to Man City, and they're trying to serena them, shall we say? They're trying to kind of outgrow them, and Arteta and his tutelage there under Pep, has he been able to learn all that stuff, and has he got a mind that can jump beyond it? I don't know, maybe, but that game screamed of not wanting to lose it more than going out and winning it. And actually, that's what I kind of spoke about in my match reaction, was that like the detail of finding a different way of winning it from Arteta was really clever, but at least he kind of he had a sort of gentle go at it. But like to play as narrow as both those teams did, probably because personnel missing a little bit, but Man City in particular, like not playing, say, like Doku, it was one where Man City probably for the first time ever went for a point. I think they went for a point. Overall, they were absolutely fine with a point. And those games are really, it was crap to watch. It was crap to watch.
I'll just say, look, there's a lot of people around the world that are paying a lot of money to watch this. We all pay a fortune to pay for Sky Sports and BT Sports. Sacrilege to some degree. Mm-hmm. You charge a fortune for your fans to get in that stadium. The bare minimum, you shouldn't be boring people to death, is all I'm saying. Someone needs to have a word with both clubs. What a boring... This is supposed to be the flagship game of the season. What a load of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... I mean, like, Spurs might lose a few games, but no one will be bored watching Spurs. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Postecoglou be that. Postecoglou probably watched it and he was like, nah. Give the ball to Jack Grealish and let him have a go at him, right?
Not for me, mate.
Not for me, but oh no. Give the ball to Mattis and let him have a go. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to, like, maybe, hopefully we're going to, like, return back to that, like, freedom at some point. That's why I would really love to see Liverpool have a proper go at it, because at least they do have a proper go at it. The Liverpool-Brighton game before was brilliant. It was class.
Yeah.
You had teams having a real go at each other, trying to win it, thinking... It was one that was like our best chance of winning this is like I'm not sure if we're not going to concede, so we best go and try and score a goal then. Like I love that.
I think Liverpool are definitely in the title race for sure. If you look at the loss to Spurs, all of the mentalness that came out of that game, they went down to 9 men. That doesn't happen very often. They should have had a goal given to them. They could have got a draw in that game. So. If I'm being really kind, Liverpool could have escaped with a point. But, drawing away to Brighton, I'm supposed to be giving them credit there.
Yeah. So, no, I just read Tom John just said, replay it, I say.
The Brighton game...
It's not funny.
Away at the Amex is difficult for anybody. And Brighton, first half, they were okay. They conceded 2 goals. Second half, they were much better and probably should have won it. But it's different from Man City. Man City seem to be getting off quite lightly because of what they've done previously, but they've effectively lost 2 games on the bounce. That's like, 30% of what they lost last season.
Are you saying he's got to go?
I mean, I wish he would.
Yeah.
I'm sick to death of him. But,
do you think there'll be like a renewed buzz when he leaves? Just because everyone's like...
In the Premier League?
Yeah.
It'll be so much better.
Yeah.
Of course it will. What do you not think?
Is Pep Guardiola hurting the Premier League?
He is. Of course he's hurting the Premier League. I think that goes without... I mean, there will be certain mainstream news outlets that would argue otherwise because, they love it and they want Manchester City to be conquering in Europe because it's better for the domestic game and all of the news that can be created out of it. But as a fan, as looking at the competition, you 100% want Pep Guardiola out of the league completely. Imagine how much more balanced it would have been over the last 3 or 4 years. Liverpool would have won a couple, Arsenal would have won the league. Not that I want this, but in terms of just as taking my Tottenham hat off and just looking at how interesting the Premier League would be. Yeah, I look at how many games Manchester City, the points that would have been shared across the league in games that Man City wouldn't have won. The relegations would be more interesting because people would be picking up points. 100%.
Yeah, do you know what? That's that might be a ripple effect episode. What if Pep Guardiola never come to the Premier League? Well, like the football that's being played like throughout the leagues and stuff like that, I wonder if it would be different. Be massively different. People saying, I did want to talk about this. So, who is the most irreplaceable player in the Premier League? And the reason why I thought this was a good thing for us to talk about was the fact that, first of all, I'm seeing a lot of comments where obviously people are talking about Tottenham. Can they do it? Should they do it? No, of course they can't. Because if you lose a centre-back or Maddison or Basuma...
Yeah, we've got 5 players we can't lose, and that's a bad position to be in.
Okay, who are the 5 players you can't lose?
Van der Ven, Romero, Basuma, Maddison and Son.
Yeah, okay, that's a lot. So that's it. So
the drop-off to people that would come in is huge. So we need to get to January quickly. And I'm just quickly, will Daniel Levy for the first time, he's had 2 opportunities previously to buy his way into a title challenge. Yeah, we'd need to spend, and this is mad, but spend £100 million in. Every time you look to the right,
you know.
I know. And I try not to speak when you do it because it kind of fucks it up. But
no, it doesn't. It's fine.
The 100 million, we'd probably need to spend 100 million in January, which is we're getting a little bit to some degree, it's a bit greedy in it because we just spent loads in the summer. But we have sold Harry Kane, so there's money there.
Well, because
let me just say one more fucking thing.
Mate, please say loads more. We've still got another 20 minutes.
You think Tottenham Hotspur are this club of failure and underachievers and perennial, just shit, a bit of a shit club in terms of top 6. That's what everyone thinks. It doesn't matter what happens, Tottenham will never be able to win the Premier League. Fundamentally, the game is about money now, right? How much can you spend within the rules of FFP and Premier League financial rules?
Right.
Tottenham Hotspur are generating so much money due to Daniel Levy's business acumen. Huge amounts of revenue.
3 cheers for Daniel. 3 cheers for Daniel.
We have had a conversation on the pod last week. Do we forgive Daniel Levy? Is it time to forgive him? And what we've said is no one wants to forgive him, so we've just gone, well, you created the mess, now you're cleaning it up. That's where we're at.
Right.
But in terms of financial power and clout, Spurs are moving into or have moved into a scenario where we will be able to spend fortunes and be compliant with FFP. Whether we will or not, whether that's Daniel Levy's aim, I don't know. But compared to other clubs, we're generating huge sums of money. And so maybe we will have to force people to realign their opinions of Tottenham Hotspur in the coming decade.
Yeah, feels so good. Sam Fredgold, he says, spend all the money, win all the games. I mean,
that's all you have to do. That's the rules.
So on the Ripple Effect, we were saying what will be the day, and actually it's a YouTube clip on the channel if you want to see it, guys. But we spoke about what the day that Tottenham become title challengers, and the day is when you play Man City, because you've got the 5 games before that. You've got Chelsea at home within that, and obviously that's a test. Villa, tough game, of course, as well. But you've got some winnable ones in there as well. So if you can win one of those Chelsea Villa ones and then win all the rest as well, you'll be in the hunt, in the pack, they might say. And so then if you can get through Christmas, I know this is all very easier said than done. Like you're saying, there's you're in January, son. And once you're in January, then you can spend all the money and win all the games.
Yeah, well, this is the thing: is will Daniel Levy gamble in that moment? And it's not a gamble because you've got Postecoglou. The other issue here, Jim, is do you gamble in January, knowing that these players that you bring in might get you over the line now, but don't serve the wider plan. So that's ridiculous to some degree because you've got to live in the moment. But if you're going, well, no, we've got targets that are available in the summer. In the long run, this is going to make us a better squad. Or we have to go for lesser targets that serve the short term now, but cost an equivalent amount of money. What do? You have to deal with the backlash of the fans for not doing it, but knowing that the greater good comes from signing these players in the summer. what do you do in that instance? It's a tough one.
That is a tough one. Is it one where you go maybe meet in the middle? So how many players do you think you need? No, you said 5 players there. So, and we're going to come back to this irreplaceable thing. Like if you've got 5 players, because I think that'd be an interesting thing for people to do in their heads when you're talking about, say, like I think Arsenal. So Arsenal, for example, they have one irreplaceable player now for me, which is Saka. I don't think there's like you can maybe Martinelli to a point, but at least you have other players that play in that position. With Saka, you have no one else who really plays in that position like naturally.
Yeah.
Man City. Look, I want to talk about Rodri as well, but Rodri one you could maybe put in there, De Bruyne, but again, we'll get back to that. So with Tottenham and January and spending all the money and winning all the games, how many do you think you would need? And what positions, and this is definitely a video for your own channel, would you need in January to sneak yourself a Premier League title?
We'd need... I think we'd need an... It's difficult because everything's going so well. So you think, which player would... We definitely need a number 10 and a 6 and a centre-back. I think we'll score enough goals regardless. So if I'm saying free transfers, it would be a centre back that's as good as a number 6.
You need but what about you got Bentancur, you got Højbjerg, who could play there.
A good shout. Højbjerg, he's good.
Skip, you got Skip as well. That's all you've got is defensive midfielders. Or 6s.
Yeah, no, but the Basuma is the key. The part of the reason why we're so good is because Basuma's so good.
Joke, yeah.
All right, look, all right, okay, all right. Charm me. Okay, so maybe we're all right in the 6. Let's say then, let's say free players. It'll be a centre back that's as good or just below the level of Romero and Van de Ven. It will be someone who can play in the attacking 8 to take over from Sarr or Maddison. Sarr's different, but Maddison certainly. Or if you're chasing the game, you take Sarr off and bring in someone who can do what Maddison does. So it'd be that, and it would either be a left winger or a centre forward. I'm inclined to say bringing in someone like Nico Williams or Neto, someone like that. And I think Neto plays on the right mainly, but someone who's essentially much better than Richarlison.
Right.
Bless him. We've got Perisic is out with a cruciate and Solomon's out for 3 months, so we've just got nothing on that left hand side at the moment.
Interesting.
And I think if we bought that, we'd give it a shout. If someone said to me, "Look,
we'll give it a shot," we're basically going to be halfway there. Madison's.
Okay. So Brennan Johnson doesn't play on the left; he plays on the right.
He can play on the left. He can play on the left as well.
He can, but he's not. He's the right winger. He's a right winger.
I know, but he can play on the left.
Yeah, but do you win the lift with makeshift players? We need specialist players on the left-hand side. That's one.
So, next question. Come back to irreplaceable, right? You lose a Tottenham player for 3 months. Which player does the most damage in terms of losing them? Basuma or Maddison? I presume it's those two.
It would be... Well, no, it's not that, because like you say, we have midfielders and we might be able to adapt. Maddison would be huge. That's like losing Son or Kane last season or the season before. Can I ask you another question? Sorry, quickly.
In your podcasting chats, has anyone had the audacity to call him Madders yet?
We do. We all do.
That's horrific.
Yeah, but he's transcended. It's not like he is like our mate. The way he talks, he's like our mate. I agree with you. It's a little bit soft and wet. I'm just want to pick James Raven on. Says that he literally played on the left hand side against Arsenal. I know he did, but it's because we didn't have anyone else that could play there, pretty much.
I think you could do. I think you could do something there. I'm just saying.
He could do something, but I'm saying, look, get someone in who is a specialist there, so we don't have to make things work. Is what you're saying. If you're saying top 4, we've probably got enough to finish in the top 4, but I would say our top 4 place is under threat if, and this is the answering your question, Van de Ven or Romero get injured. Then we have Eric Dyer or Phillips, who's played 8 games in the Championship. So that's the drop-off. If one of them get injured and Romero is never gone through a season without injury, we've got Eric Dyer. So if you had to say we could only buy one, it would be a centre-back.
Interesting.
I love Tapsoba of Leverkusen. They're top of the league. And Marco Alonso's, you know what they should do, Liverpool? Sack Klopp at the end of the season. Get Alonso in. Say thanks for everything. Thanks for the memories. You are great. It's time to move on. I wonder what Liverpool fans think of that. He's done wonders at Leverkusen.
No, he's killing it. Yeah.
They could win the league.
Klopp's got more left in the league. He's got more left in the tank.
Oh, he's got more left in the tank. I'm talking about being proactive in your decisions. Liverpool are a big football club. They're not Klopp FC. They're Liverpool Football Club, as they always say.
Okay.
Sack him. Sack him now. No, not now. Give him the end of the season. Liverpool, listen to me. If you consider yourself a big club, I'm sure you do, at the end of the season, sack Klopp. Get rid of all his backroom staff. Get him out. Remove him. Scratch his name off and bring in Xabi Alonso.
So it's a bit of a Birmingham City move. You're popping in there. I see. The old
what is going on at that football club?
It's a big club move, isn't it? They've gone. He said, Tom. Do you think that's what's happened? Tom, you said you wanted to be really involved in this, and Tom's busy, isn't he? Tom's playing golf. He's doing all sorts, but he's also kind of, I have said I'm going to be like really kind of involved. And he's like, you know what?
You want him involved, though, do you? You don't want him involved.
But like, you understand elite sport, Tom. What should we do? We've got an international break here. Could you just give us a bit of guidance? He's busy. He's got a tea time in about 30 minutes. He's got to get across town, and he's thought, who's someone I know? And he's had a quick look at the MLS. He said, I probably should know my own league, shouldn't I? Well, actually, but it's Birmingham, isn't it? So, is there any English people knocking about in MLS at the moment? Rowney? Get Wayne Rowney in there.
Yeah.
You're the boss, Tom. You're the boss.
That's what it feels like.
Eustace with the elbow. Poor Eustace.
It genuinely feels like that because of the American influence at the club, and not to say that probably won't serve. It will serve them well in the long run. How you'd hope if you're a Birmingham fan, but to look at it as Eustace has done an incredible job to get them. They've been such a nothing championship football club for a long, long time. Mm. So much so, literally, if you're not interested in the championship, you never think about Birmingham City. I've genuinely looking at it and looking at what they've done this season, getting into sixth and thinking, been mildly interested. Like one of them ones, like, oh, what's going on over there? That's how I feel about Birmingham. But now I'm like,
as good as it gets.
Oh, well, that's a shame. That's what.
Yeah. When is important with all these things, right? Because what's the story now? The story for Birmingham City is now to fail.
Of course it is.
The story's not. Really look at John Eustace getting this, band of players together. Actually, got a lot of talent in there actually as well. Now you've just gone, Rooney. Well, you better do it because we had a good thing here. It's just a stupid it's a stupid addition to the concoction of your season. It's just dumb. It's just stupid.
It's stupid. It's just let it play out. So you can't get Wayne Rooney at the end of the season? Of course you can. If it doesn't work out, you put a plan in. You give the current incumbent a chance to build on the success he created. And I'm not saying that Eustace will go off to another football club. Like QPR might look at him and go, oh, maybe we should give him a go. It probably won't work because often the manager needs tools to work with, obviously. They're not miracle workers. And as you say, Birmingham, and I, much better than I do, but they've got, you just said that they've got a crop of players better than you.
Yeah, they brought in a lot of interesting, a lot of good players. And if things are going well, they've got a squad good enough to make an impact, maybe sneak into the top six. But I guess again, January they might spend a lot of money. Someone just said they're like, oh, Cameron Fraser taking Ashley Cole with him as a coach is genius, I reckon.
To what end? Why do you think that? I mean, that it sounds good. Yeah, I get it. It's Ashley Cole, but.
Thing is, as well, there's growing. You've got to be clever with the growing pains of a club because when you raise the profile of things, it can lead to people losing value in themselves, and because they've ripped out the backroom staff as well, like all of them gone, and he's brought in John O'Shea and Ashley Cole, and we've seen this before, Okay, look, they're going to be excited about those people, right? Because they've done incredible things in the game. But can they actually connect?
Good coaches.
But can they connect with those kind of players? I think sometimes, say Zinedine Zidane, Real Madrid, you go, boff. You are looking at you're looking at these players in the eye And by that I mean like they want to be you, and that's not too far away. And you go, well, this is the blueprint. And they go, okay, boss, and it all works and it aligns, right?
They're good enough to do it as well.
But if you give Zinedine Zidane, he goes and manages Stockport County. It's just too far. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's the problem you'll have with Rooney and Ashley Cole. Less so John O'Shea. Like that could lead to too much distance between the two. Whereas you might have, but Birmingham have been playing quite well. Or sorry, what I heard the other day was that there's the Portsmouth manager Danny Crowley, I want to say, he was saying that this will be something he'll have known. He's probably been a dead man walking for a little while, and they will have, so with that, as will the group of players, and the performances have been pretty solid recently, I think. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. This is what Danny Crowley said. He said, you've seen a response there from the group. So they obviously like John Eustace. Yeah. So it's unnecessary. There's so much stuff like that. It's weird.
And look, just because they have a high profile in the game doesn't make them good coaches. And what essentially they've done is break up what is a good atmosphere.
Good vibe, yeah.
For the first time in a long time, I'd imagine, they're feeling good about their football club. They lost to Norwich. They beat Huddersfield 4-1. They've just won Derby against West Brom 3-1.
That's it.
They drew a QPR and lost to Preston away,
Good
which
point.
there's no.
And
they're breaking up this good mood and good feeling, and Wayne Rooney's got to come in and maintain that, which is difficult. They're human beings. Everything's going to change,
and it's a stacked league, right? So, like, but look, Borough had a tough start. Now's finding their feet under Carrick. You've got West Brom can always do something, but Southampton will make a bit of a charge at some point. Like the team, Sunderland are really good. Ipswich are really solid. The teams that went down last year, Norwich as well. Like it's pretty stacked at the top there. So to get in,
it's strong championship.
That's the one thing you could spin is you go, look, we're not actually too bothered if we go up this year or not, and so, but we do want to get Wayne Rooney in whilst we can because we think he's amazing. I mean, but he's not done amazing stuff just yet. Like he's
but MLS doesn't really count, does it?
And the Derby thing was like
he did well, didn't he?
He did brilliantly.
Right.
He did brilliantly well, but it's a very odd scenario where bizarrely there's a lack of pressure there because he was just up against the wall basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So irreplaceable players. This is the thing. I just want to talk about Rodri. Like, well, first of all, a couple of things. So the 4 players I had, like, can these teams win the league without Rodri? Can Man City win the league without Rodri? Yes, probably. Salah I had as being pretty irreplaceable for Liverpool. Saka for Arsenal, and I had Maddison for Tottenham. The Rodri thing's funny, right? Because it's such an important position. I think they're actually missing Kevin De Bruyne as much, if not more, when it comes to those big games to just provide those big moments. And I think Haaland's struggling a little bit without De Bruyne. But it's amazing. It's amazing to use that as an excuse when you've got someone like Calvin Phillips just sitting there.
Yeah, he just looks like a shadow of himself, though, doesn't he?
But he's not been given any opportunity at all. It feels harsh, man.
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, it's harsh, but obviously everything that's happened preceded his recent starts due to Rodri's absence has done nothing for his career. He spent 2 years or 18 months just sitting on the bench, and that would do nothing. The players have to play, and that sounds like an obvious statement, but you're going to fall off playing at this level if you're not playing there consistently. The ability of which you can, demonstrate your skill on the pitch is damaged directly by how often you play.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah.
Let's move on because we've got comments and stuff to talk about. We'll talk about Onana maybe next week.
Okay. If he makes another fuck up, which he probably will. What a mess.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone gave me an excuse for him saying that, like, it's all the injuries at Man United that's why he's having such a tough start. And I was like, what? So you can't save a shot?
Yeah, and he's making mental decisions. His positioning is mental as well. But can I just quickly pick up on something that Maguire said this morning? I was reading him when I was having my my cup of tea. He said, "Look, I'm not going to sit around here and just play once a month. I'm not going to sit around here and just play once a month. And I'm like, well, you had an opportunity to leave for West Ham and you played every game. You didn't go. So what the fuck do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah, why has he said that? It's a weird thing.
It's just come out. It was like in the press conference. It's like, I won't sit around and play one game a month.
Do you know what I'd do if I was Harry Maguire? You know, people go, "Oh, Harry, would you do an interview for us?" No, I'm not going to say anything right now because it's just going to get picked apart. Honestly, like, it's not. I'd love to. But we've got some great questions about Beckham. He's done a documentary. He came back from like a really tough time, and maybe that's a similar thing to your career. Yeah, but if I say that, people are going to compare me to Bex, and I'm not as good as Bex. So it's just best that I keep my mouth shut.
No. Yeah, just please, because anything I say to you, you're going to bury me, aren't you? Be honest, you're going to bury me.
Honestly, there's nothing he can say. There's nothing. I would like. That's a bit for the podcast. Interview comments that come out of Harry Maguire's mouth that are actually like that you can see with an element of empathy that he's just trying to answer a question that will then get picked apart by the press and Twitter and whoever else. Just for the Harry, because he seems like a bloody just a solid bloke, right? Harry, please, if you're watching this, and there are professional sports people, which I'm about to talk about, who do watch and listen to this wonderful podcast.
Is there?
Oh, yes. Do not do any interviews. Just don't. Just crack on. Just keep your head down. And if you want to take anything from Bex, use that stoic desire to just crack on. And absolutely, like Flav just said, move, play, redeem.
Well, he could have left.
He could have left.
Should have left.
Exactly. There we go. And there we are. Great moment for the podcast here. The Jim Big Laugh Award is on its way. And 114 likes on this one. Stephen tries. I suggested that maybe he does listen to the podcast. And there he is in the comments. 1.5 mil subs, Stephen. Congratulations. He said, I only watch... Good? Yeah. He said, I think it's pretty solid, isn't it?
It looks pretty good, yeah.
He said, I only watch to imagine myself with Flav's vape with a horrible emoji at the end of it. Truly horrible use of an emoji there. There you go. Yeah, go on. Just give him a quick blow, Flav, if you can.
I just did. I don't think it's crass.
One more. There you go, Steve. Enjoy. There you go. So yeah, that did tickle me.
That was good.
Yeah. Hope you're enjoying the pod, Steve. I mean, if he hears a Nosh joke, he's there. That's the thing with Steve.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Loves it.
It's made me laugh. Oh yeah. Ainsley Harriet celebrations in the wild.
Oh, what's going on here? Someone's just joined the.
Oh god.
What's he doing?
Someone just joined the Discord server.
Yeah, people who are watching this on YouTube won't understand what's just happened. There's a geezer called Matt MS.
You prick.
He's just joined the Discord. We're trying to do a podcast, and he just joined it. Actually, I mean, you got to say something if you're here, mate.
I ain't got the minerals. You ain't got the minerals, Matt.
All right, no more.
Drew Badenoch. He said, my colleague just walked into my office at work while Jim was doing his chef dance. It's not my chef dance. It's Ainsley Harriet's chef dance, first and foremost. He goes, what the hell are you watching? So I gave him my brief explanation saying he might like the podcast and he should watch. He searched it on his phone and he saved to watch later. Great work by Drew. I said to him, wow, this is a big moment. I think I may have just created a new dry slug. To which he responds, what the fuck are you on about? You're so weird. Just watch it, mate. And when you know, which is good. I like that. But I got sent this, by the way.
No, there isn't a video, is there?
Oh, yes.
Is there really?
Oh, yes. But sadly, from a professional of sorts, but not the professional in the sporting arena. But I'll talk about that in just a second. But here's our boy Tom Jordan. And Tom was they were talking about the concerns that they've got, and he was talking. His co-host here was talking about. He's talking about stews, making a stew, and comparing that to Bournemouth, and saying that if you're going to make a stew, sometimes you'll put bacon in it, but you don't put bacon in at the end. You put it at the start. Anyway, he starts cooking.
So he's got ingredients that he can't quite use. He can't open the packet. Like, he can't open that bacon packet. We've all tried to do that vacuum pack stuff. It's impossible. Alex Scott, nowhere to be seen. Tyler Adams, you can't even open him. I think that when that is chucked into the mix, I genuinely think it's going to be exactly what we need. What you do,
And there it is. Our first.
Good work.
Our
Good
first,
work.
but not our last, hopefully, Ainsley Harriott Jaffin celebration. Now, is it a coincidence? I don't know. First of all, I got a message from a professional sportsman on Instagram this week. You know who you are. I'm not going to reveal your name just yet. And he said that he would be up for doing the Ainsley Harriott celebration.
What? Really?
Wow. But it wasn't within football. It was in a different sport. Okay.
That's fine.
Now, we might have to wait a while for reasons I won't go into. So we'll sit tight. It's going to be a while. But again, don't be afraid, professional sports people. I was also followed by a random footballer, and I don't mean that as a dig, in case you are listening, but I didn't expect the follow, let's say, right? You followed me, I followed you, okay? So if you are that person, and your initials are KS, I think, then you are in the arena as well. So can we please see a goal, and can we please see the Ainsley Harriott goal celebration? That is the aim for the season. Don't be afraid. You're safe. You're in a safe space here, and you will be lauded and loved forevermore. But yeah, so it's a possibility. It's not golf. Golf, that'd be great.
How are they saying golf?
A little hole in one.
I mean, anything is fine. You realise that this is the likelihood of this. Well, I assume the likelihood of this happening was so remote that I'd kind of forgotten about it. But that is sensational. What, Jim? Can I find out after?
Yeah, of course. But also, I was slightly disappointed. You know, Flav said quite clearly we would love to see some celebrations in any arena, any celebration. Now, we saw one from Tom. Well done, Tom. But elsewhere, you know, five-a-side or, you know, Sunday League, you may be filming it, whatever it is. Like, there's got to be some six-pack slugs out there playing sport, ready to celebrate with Ainsley Harriott. With the Ainsley Harriott celebration. I want to see it.
Yeah, come on. This is like the most important thing to me this season.
Mark, sorry, go on. What? You going to say so?
Just someone said, get Bessie's back. That was such a... When was that? Was that 2 seasons ago?
That was a great
Must
time.
Have been.
Number 69. Yeah. What a ledge. What an absolute ledge. Is he still your background picture?
No.
Anyway.
You're my background picture.
Oh, brilliant. Right. A couple of top comments just quickly. I just thought this was good. Rossi says, could Pep do what Eddie did with Bournemouth over the same period?
Yes.
Okay.
Better, much better.
Could
Although he did do well.
Pep do what Eddie did with Newcastle?
What, you don't know. I mean, the Newcastle thing, yes, because eventually the money would come in and he'd buy the players and it's Pep Guardiola and he'd be able to get anyone he wants pretty much, right? But Bournemouth is different. No matter if you're Pep Guardiola, convincing someone like Haaland to join Bournemouth would have been difficult, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
I think eventually he would get it. I think he would struggle in the short term. Now, what am I saying? Of course, could he? I don't know. It's hard. The thing is, he should. If you want to prove, I've said this before, but if you want to prove yourself as the best manager, well, go and do it as someone that doesn't have everything available to you. And I'm not taking anything away from what Man City have done. Incredible stuff. But we're bored of it. We don't give a shit if you win the treble again. You've done it. It's boring. No one cares. Literally no one cares. Unless you're a Manchester City fan. And even Man City fans are getting indifferent to their success. Such is a shame.
So I was chatting with James Wayne's got a channel called Citizen Wayne. He came in the podcast last week, and he did sort of allude to the fact that it's kind of fun them losing a couple of games, just to sort of like make it interesting.
Being in that situation, that they're wanting to lose to make it interesting.
But it's human nature, though. It's human. Like there's nothing they can do.
I appreciate where he's coming from, Jim. I'm not having a go at him. I'm just imagine being in that situation. It's not good. It's not good. He's got to go. They've got to get Pep Guardiola out of this fucking league for the good of everybody, including Man City fans. Okay. Get him out. He's a cancer for the Football League.
Mark Faux, I've been doing the Regulator for years now. This was a top comment that I wanted to put in there and I fear I'll never be able to sleep again without thinking about Flav. So last week we were speaking about the Regulator that Flav does, where he sticks his leg out. And I'm sadly, I'm going to have to admit something myself. I've started to do the bloody Regulator. And
you can't sleep properly without it.
I can't, but like, I also agree with Mark. the people around the world thinking about you as they drift off. It's getting.
I love it.
It's happening more and more because I think of you most nights now because I keep doing the regulator.
I think about you a lot.
Thing.
Generally, I don't need some sort of regulator to think about you, right? But just to reiterate it, if anyone out there, if you want to think about me before you go to sleep, and I love it. I love the idea. And actually, I wasn't aware of this, so when I go to bed tonight, I'm going to be thinking about all you thinking about me. But as you're falling asleep, just stick one leg out on top of the quilt. It doesn't have to stay there forever, and it regulates your temperature. It's called the regulator, and it does. It's lovely. And then once you're ready, you just put it in. If you leave it out for too long, it can be a bit hot once it goes in, and then you deregulate. So be aware.
Regulators, mount up. It was a clear black night. Okay. Do you know what I did as well? Does anyone else do this, right, when they sleep? I'd love to know. Christ. I do this, and I think I've spoken about this, and I do it more and more, and especially when I'm really tired. As I'm drifting off, and last night I did it so loud. I do this. I'm drifting off. So we've gone to sleep. Night, love. Night, love. Right. About 5 minutes later, I'm off. Right. I'm literally about to slope into the sleep, and I go, huh?
Yeah.
Does anyone do that? Huh?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Does anyone else do that? Is it just me? It's just like something. No. I don't know if I'm like exhaling. We always joke that like as I die, the doctors will go, he's gone, and Fam will go, no, he hasn't, and then then like a second later you'll hear, huh? Now he's gone. Does anyone else do that? The Allcott. It does. The Allcott horn. He says the Allcott horn. Yeah. It sounds like a goose. Huh? It's so weird. It's actually weirdly satisfying though as well, but you then end up...
You hear it?
Yeah, and you'd end up laughing. So it then puts you back another 4 minutes. Because I've then now I've sort of woken up again. It's really annoying.
I have this thing when falling asleep now where I will be able to tell when I'm about to drift off, just almost to the second, because I will start thinking in a way that I dream. And I'll be awake, but I can feel it, and then I don't remember anything, and I'm off. Pretty cool.
Tom Jordan, Allcott tuck in synergy with the Allcott horn art. Okay. Taryn says, I think yes, but a more elongated satisfies. So all right. So as well as your Ainsley Harriott celebrations, could you all just send me a voice note on Twitter, just going, what's the sound that you make as you drift off? Is it the same one? And in a new low point in the section I've got under the section top comments, Rice and Peas 92 says, how long are your average wheeze, and has anyone experienced wee envy? My wheeze average about 7 to 13 seconds. And if I'm at a urinal, I find myself having to stand there with no flow because I'm too ashamed to walk away for the other guys who have been there since before I walked into the toilets. That is a weird thing, isn't it? Kind of, you're sort of more of a man if you wee for longer. If it's a constant stream for longer, you're like, wow.
My dad's at urinal for about 3 minutes. It just dribbles out now.
That's a shame.
It's got a tiny dick as well. It's very fat, but not much length to it.
Sounds like a grower.
I hope so.
Right. New bit here called Forget About It. Forget About It. Josh Garbett says, great bit for the next pod. If you could use VAR to replay and reverse a moment in your life, what moment would go to VAR? Mine is a classic. Playing football at school and stretching for a ball, trouser rip, full exposure, and I had to wrap a jumper around my utility belt. Utility belt? Sorry, round me like a utility belt for the rest of the day, hiding the shame. And VAR could have changed that. 129 likes on that, so well done, Josh. We'll give it a go. Jay says this is golden. Celtic 69, nearly ratioed, Josh, with 32 likes on a reply. Impressive stuff. He says, I'd go back and stop myself from telling the entire class that I had a great bondage session with my mother over the weekend. I meant bonding. But it was at a time when age, or AGE, was getting added to the end of every word. Ownage, for example. VAR could have stopped me from being known as Billy Bondage for years. Very good. Faux compliments. So we were asking last week about a compliment that you get given and you then go, hang on a minute. You just sort of, is it sort of power move compliment? And now this comment is, it's all over the place.
I've got one just before you go into that. We had the one on the Fighting Cock this week. One of our, my mate Windy, he does the extra inch, and we released our podcast before they did for some reason. And this bloke tweeted at Windy and the other guys that are involved, Bardi and Nathan, at them. I see the extra inch isn't up, so I guess I'll just have to listen to the Fighting Cock, and then atted us in it. Like, what do we take away from that? Like, firstly, fuck off, don't listen to it if you don't want to. But secondly, they don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear it. You've just gone out your way to be a knob for some reason. Just don't do that.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Catherine. A passive-aggressive compliment.
Yeah.
Very good. Right. So, Helga Cusick. Now, Helga, just because of your name, I don't know if there's a language barrier here, but count the flexes in this comment. He sort of flexes himself within it. Just count them. So, what was that a compliment bit? He said, I just experienced something like this. I just experienced something like this. I was catching up with my two of my former master's degree course mates. Bing. They told me another course mate of ours, top student, similar to myself, bing, has gone on to PhD studies. And his big aim is to quickly become my lecturer as I'm still doing my master's. On top of that, he'd love it to give me a grade F. I was assured these should be taken as a compliment. It's quite confusing, but also just sort of rammed it with flexes there. Helga. I don't know if maybe it's sort of lost in translation a little bit. I don't know. But good luck with the PhD. Get your faux compliments in, because I do want to keep that going. Slugs in the Wild. Oh yeah. At WrestlePlanet, who's got 45k subs. Congrats.
WrestlePlanet.
So if you're into your wrestling, go check out WrestlePlanet. He said, please never say Zaha bummed Moyes' daughter while I'm at Poundload's self-checkout ever again. A bunch of strangers are now left wondering why I was uncontrollably laughing at the tills, this adding to their confusion as to why things are more than £1. I didn't read that last time.
WrestlePlanet is he crafts. Nice fun though as well.
Yeah, good. Cool. Yeah, okay. One sentence words. Do you remember you were talking about curry? You were saying, you said curry. And we were trying to figure out, I've never heard that not the curry, the...
Curry favour, yeah.
Yeah, curry favour. Yeah, that's it. Curry favour. Is that ever used in another sentence? So, Giraffe Boy. Oh, no, sorry. First of all, Sludge Puppy. Good name. He said curry as a term exists in mathematics, computer science. It's used with regards to anonymous functions. You curry, brackets, basically pass values to it. So for curry favours, I think you can think of it as passing along favours. My own integration. Don't shoot me. Edit. Flav then gives a definition of it. The term curry in maths comes from a mathematician called Haskell Curry. I don't know anything about some mythical horses. That's what you were talking about last week. I thought that was interesting. Giraffe Boy said 2 words that you could use elsewhere, I suppose, but I've only ever heard them used in football/sports setting. Drubbing and aplomb. I don't think you'll ever hear Sorry, go on.
Aplomb you will. Aplomb is common. You've heard it. It's not often used, but it's common English. Do
you have to, if you're going to have aplomb, will you always have finished in the sentence?
Or finished with aplomb?
Yeah.
It's doing something with ease, isn't it? With a certain grace. Is that right? Aplomb?
That's it. Drubbing of the opposition. Yeah, I think you see drubbing elsewhere. So
it's self-confidence or assurance, especially when in a demanding situation.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm good. That's a no, Giraffe Boy.
Drubbing is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, drubbing does seem exclusive to football. But more so, is there a word that is only used in one sentence? That's what we're looking for. Nicknames. Salvation 96. A man called Clive at our local Legion had a heart attack. They had to use a defibrillator to bring him back. He's now called Come Alive Clive.
Very good. That's amazing.
Come Alive Clive.
Come alive, Clive.
Best outs. So these are the best outs in life to get yourself out of the situation. Liam Moran says 9456. He says best outs. Giving advice to someone and following up with, I don't know though, just in case it all goes tits up. Good option. Ellis Scar says when someone on Twitter says from a fan, insert club, because that somehow gives their opinion validity and gets them out of any suggestion of bias. Tough, isn't it? Tough to get out of the accusation of bias. Is there a way to get out of the accusation of bias? I don't know.
That's class. That's class from a Brentford fan.
Yeah. And Jack Total. Best out for anything, explosive diarrhea. No one in history has heard explosive diarrhea as an excuse being given and responded, go on then, give us a look. It's the most bulletproof out ever. There you go.
True.
Because I think that's a good one there, because you sort of, there's an idea of sort of a shame there. That like, I don't want to tell you this, but sadly, I've got explosive diarrhea. And so the person that you're giving the excuse to straight away is like, oh, of course. They sort of back off. Oh, no. Yeah. You just go do what you got to do because it's explosive.
Get away from me.
Yeah, just get away from me. Exactly. Right, and we finish off with some sweet spots, which I'm desperate to continue. Okay, we're trying to create the perfect day, Flav said last week. That's a good point. And we were talking about the balcony and enjoying, you've got a little tingle after your first day out in the sun. The missus is going to be in the shower for at least 40 minutes. And you know you're there, you're lovely, you're clean, and you open that first bottle of beer, or whatever it may be. Yummy. Anyway. Sludge Puppy's back with a sweet spot. I thought this is interesting. Get your take on this. Taking a shit that leaves no mess. You go to wipe and come up clean. Always leaves a smile on my face. I can't help but tell my girlfriend every time it happens. Oh, you'll never guess what. That's grim.
That is grim.
Do you know what my missus do you know what it's sort of through the pressure of like if I need the toilet because like I'm not feeling great and it's one of them, right? And you've then been in there probably longer than you would like to, right? I feel like I've got to sell it a bit when I come back out. Right?
What? Why? Why not just ignore the fact that you've been in there?
Well, no, because if you've been there like because you want to, especially when you've got a young kid, you kind of need to work as a team a lot of the time, and so you're sort of leaving them alone. So if I've gone because I've got a bad stomach or whatever it might be, and I've been in there for longer than what would be classified wee time, let's say, then I feel like on the way out, well, I felt like I've been told since that I don't need to do this, but I'll come out the toilet and as I catch her eye, I'll go like this. I'll go. I'll puff out my cheeks and she'll go, don't do that. I don't need you to do that.
Yeah. You're destroying the romance and the mysticism of your relationship. What?
But do you know what the thing is? I think I'm worried she's thinking I've been on my phone for 10 minutes.
You have though. You've used that. You are.
No, I am, but I've struggled with it as well. You're doing both things at the same time, right? Anyway. Devang. It's an interesting one in terms of creating a perfect day. This is something I need to sort of put into my daily routine. Sweet spot. I wake up, my heart is racing faster than ideal. I have a sip of cool water and I'm calm. No longer tired, freshly awake. Feels sweet. I don't really do that. Maybe that's what I should do. Do you ever have water first thing after you wake up?
Yeah. I take water to bed. And I first want to get up and just have water. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, good podcasting. Good. Yeah. Okay.
Fully hydrated most of the day.
Ibn Grief. Sweet spot. I don't know. Is this a thing? When you're grating a big block of cheese and you finally get down to the point where you can properly grip the block of cheese, that's a sweet spot. Is that a sweet spot? You're not fucking listening, are you? You're doing the face.
Jim, I've got a podcast to do in like 15 minutes with two people, and I'm trying to prepare at the same time. Jim, I'm running out of time. Right. I don't want to cut the podcast short.
Give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds.
All right, okay.
Because I've got sweet spots here, you prick. right? Lewis Williams, just checking in. Completely robbed this off of TikTok.
I generally sitting there going,
Now, do you know what? Fuck it. Do you know what? Fuck it. Do you know what? Fuck it. Because these are good sweet spots, and they're being wasted on you doing the fucking the glare where you're not listening. All right.
I'm listening,
You
Jim.
go concentrate on your podcast.
No, Jim, I'm
listening. No, that's it.
Jim, I'm listening.
No,
you've got my undivided
I don't
attention
want it.
because I'm panicking.
I don't want it because I'm not going to
panicking.
enjoy it. I'm not going to enjoy the sweet spot. I'm not going to enjoy it. It's too late. It's too late. No. Right, guys. Do not become a patron. You're wasting your time because he's just going to be working on something else.
It's not that I'm working on something else. I didn't realise the time and I suddenly started panicking and I've got two people I've got to talk to and I'm not prepared.
Let's make the move. That's it.
Go on, read them out.
Is Jeffing over? Find out next week. Goodbye, everyone. Do you want to say anything before we go? Make sure you check out Flash Podcast. I think it's going to be brilliant.
It's not because I'm not prepared.
Right.
I'm sorry, everybody.
It's all good. Right, we'll be back next week. Scumbag. See you later.